And take note.
Hello, hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. This is the SIG release meeting. It is a meeting that will be recorded and available on the internet. So please be mindful of what you say and do. Please be sure to adhere to the Kubernetes code of conduct and in general, just be awesome people. So we've got an agenda that is being built live right now and a few potential topics to cover. So bear with us if we go through that. But I think in the meantime, while we wait, we always kick off our meetings with saying hello to new members of the special interest group or our attendees to this meeting. So if anyone is new to this group and wants to say hi, feel free to unmute and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, am I audible? Hey everyone,
Hey,
my
we
name
can
is
hear you.
Swastik. Yeah, my name is Swastik, and I am an CNCF ambassador, and I am also a former Google Summer of Code and LFX mentee, and I'm currently a Google Summer of Code mentor, and I work at an organization called InfraCloud, which is now acquired by Improving. So I was interested in basically knowing more about SIG release and getting to know more about Kubernetes community in general. So yeah, so here I am.
Welcome to the meeting, Swastik. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Okie dokie. We will move on. Thank you again to everyone who's attended. Um, some project updates. Let's do some sub-project updates. I see my technical leads and sub-project team leads in the house. So if anyone wants to jump in, we can start off with release engineering.
So I have been working with Carlos on a couple of updates to some of the Golang CI linked configurations everywhere. It's been taking far too much time. And then, well, the regular dependency updates, patches, that kind of thing. Carlos started rebuilding some of the images, and I think he took on some of the last Go updates, and there was some a little bit of a miscommunication with between some of the release managers on who was working on what, but I think it was it's not solved and things are mostly smooth, um, working smoothly now. That's kind of it. So mostly routine.
Cool. Thank you. Marco, anything on your side?
Nothing from my side.
Cool. All right. Any other comments on release engineering? Navarone,
Hey,
how's it
I
going?
have a question. So, while cutting the patch releases last week, I noticed that the promo jobs all failed during the signing step, and this was the case with previous months' patch releases as well. So, are we planning to fix that somehow? Like I saw like there were rate limit issues. So do we have a plan, or do we need to chart out a plan to fix that, or do we just give up on it? Um, what does the group think?
I can take that. So it has been failing, I think, for years now. And so it has been failing since the community, the Google projects were like the build processes were, especially the promoter was moved to the community infra. And so the last time we had a bigger discussion about this, I think it was, I don't know, and I will defer to Marco if in case there have been any updates on Gates Infra, but I think the last big discussion about this was in Salt Lake City when we were there together with Ben and Arno and a couple of others. And so there's a plan to rework how we uh, how we promote the Kubernetes images, but my understanding is that it was still waiting for a couple of changes on the infra side, but no one is looking at fixing it just now. I don't know. I don't know if you want to add some color to that, Marco, but the idea is, so to give folks a rough idea, the idea would be we, instead of promoting all images at once, we promote one image and then replicate. So that's the current thinking, because that will allow us to scale to any number of registries, and but it's a heavy lift of work, and it needs a whole bunch of coordination with Git Infra.
Yeah, but Adolfo covered it very well. The problem was that it was considered like a mitigation rather than a complete fix. We also had some discussions about what do we need to change in promoter and everything, and it kind of stopped because a lot of folks are pretty much low work capacity and didn't actually have time to work on this, but we should try to ramp up that work again and see if we can come up with something that finds someone to work on this. So the problem is that it's not easy. There are definitely folks who are coming up interested, but the promoter tooling is probably some of the most complicated tools that we have. And it's not easy to jump, and even a lot of us don't have the full context on everything, so it's not even easy to document a lot of things. So we will figure something out. We know that we need to figure out. Let's hope that we can do that in the upcoming period.
Yeah, I think generally it might make sense for us to sit down and think about what our top priorities are. But I think we've had some discussions about it earlier in the year, but it would be good to revisit, and I think this should be one. Um, does anyone have the proposal close at hand? I know there was a doc somewhere.
I think I can find it, but it's not going to be. Give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no rush.
Get the agenda.
Cool. All right. Anyone want to comment on release team thingies?
I just have one thing. We will have probably 2 shadows for branch management this round. So yeah, we're still selecting, but it's gonna be me and 2 people shadowing.
Sounds good. And welcome back.
Yeah, Matteo, this is Raji from Relay Signal. So, so the shadowing against branch management, was it part of the application process?
Nope. For the nature of the role, it was not part of that. Since
Okay,
it gives,
you mean, yeah, it would need prior experience with the engineering tools and.
it gives access to a lot of stuff that's potentially
Okay.
destructive. So it's
Okay.
more a matter of trust and security. So
Right.
Yeah, I would say not potentially destructive, definitely destructive to the project. And to Mateo's point, does require trust. I think in the past we have or not I think, the actuality of it is in the past, people were kind of ad hoc tapped for this role, based on their experience in the release team or in other work that they've done across release engineering and the wider SIG release. TLDR is that we need to create a more transparent and obvious process for this long term. I know that there have been some discussions about picking this back up. Some thoughts from both Matteo and Marco. So we should prioritize that for this cycle.
Yeah, basically one of my proposals is a bit technical, which would be having a sort of sandbox environment, which could enable people to try more than once to do things, even in a like a dry run phase. And well, just-in-time access, but that was also an idea that maybe was already implemented. But I meant more just-in-time access, Marco, just to specify. You get access for X amount of minutes, and maybe as a shadow, you have someone like actually looking at you while you do things, screen sharing, something like that. I know it's not super great, but security-wise, it would be better than just giving them access for one day and then turning it off manually. So
yeah, we're effectively doing just-in-timey right now for release manager associates in general. And that's kind of it's a bit more than just in time. It's just in time where the time window is the length of the release, right?
I mean,
but again,
I was not revoked access, but probably because I was selected again.
we
I
know
had
you're
access
continuing. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
The sandbox, I think we can discuss and potentially explore, but I think as always, the community is cognizant of resources. So
Sure.
that's a conversation. Yeah. Cool. And the proposal looks like it was linked in. Okay. Yeah, we've got the proposal for those who are looking for it now in the notes as well. The proposal around image promotion. So to be clear. All right. Let's go to the next item. We've got a review request. Let's do a second. Let me know if you can't see my screen.
We can.
Okay,
But
cool.
it's small though.
It's small. Yep. Fixing that. Cool.
Good.
All right. So Windows pause image, invalid reference, format, lots of words. Who do we have on this currently? And
So I just
Haveran.
want to quickly narrate the problem like
Sure.
that is happening. So basically, Windows pause Windows pause image was bumped. So the pause current version is 3.10.1, but due to an issue, since like when it was bumped with a tag at digest, and the current makefile cannot parse that syntax. So this is a fix for that. And because the makefile cannot parse it, the push also did not happen. So currently in release 133 as well as on the main branch, the pause cannot be updated from 3.10 to 3.10.1. So this PR is like is a fix to resolve that issue so that like the further like the pause bump can happen in both the repos, right?
Okay.
In the branches. Yeah.
Pause make. I have a feeling I'm going to be in this. Just a look at who should be taking a look. Do we have any volunteers to take a look?
I can take a look. Probably.
I already had a look at it once. I can take a relook.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Marker, you want to talk about the cherry pick deadline?
Yes. So, some context story before we get started. Right now, the cherry pick deadline is always the Friday prior to the release, and it has been usually considered by folks by end of the day anywhere. Like we didn't really have a specific deadline or something like that. The problem with that is that we often end up in a situation that, especially on Fridays, we don't have people who are going to review cherry picks. For example, a lot of folks are like in the Europe, Asia, or something like that, where, it's quite early, and when folks from the US create cherry picks, it's usually late for us. They might satisfy the criteria, but yeah, it's a problem because we usually can't get to those PRs, and it becomes a little bit uncomfortable for everyone because people complain that they did everything in time, but we just didn't have people to actually review those cherry picks, even those deadline was respected. So basically what I wanted to propose is that we move the cherry pick deadline a day earlier and that we define a time so that we say like it is Thursday before the week coming to the release, and it has to be done, I don't know, by, I don't know, late in the US time zone. And so when we wake up on Friday in Europe and Asia, we can take a look at those cherry picks, eventually ask for some context, and try to get everything merged. Like I was even considering if we should make it even more restrictive. So we put something like Thursday afternoon or something like that so that we can still reach to folks, especially in the US time zones, and if you need context, try to sort it out. But I think the one that we have right now is like, yeah, a bit problematic to satisfy, and a lot of time we have missed it from our side. So I think it would be nice to somehow change it.
So what about Wednesday anywhere on Earth? That way things should definitely be done by Thursday for reviews by either any of our folks in the EU or US.
That would work. I mean, that's even more restricted than I thought initially, but yeah, that's fine. If folks are good with that, like Wednesday, end of day anywhere, like that would be Thursday morning, afternoon for folks in Europe and Asia. So that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, you've got basically a day and a half or so to solve issues, depending on what time zone you look at. And I think one of my concerns as well is considering cherry picks and patch releases as they overlap with the next minor schedule, right? We've had a few conflicts in recent releases where we've decided to push patch releases because they're conflicting with a minor release. So we should just make that decision to not do it and make sure they don't conflict in future.
Yeah. That's something I agree with as well, and kind of related to the next topic.
Cool. Do we have any other comments on this before we move into the next topic? Okay, on
Okay,
to the next
looks like
topic.
that's a no. Yeah, so another topic that I was thinking of bringing up, but actually Viom did that before me, and we discussed it a little bit. So we had a problem that patch releases and pre-releases were often conflicting with each other. So we had, I think, maybe a few weeks ago that we had like RC and patch releases at the same day. So it was like, yeah, it is quite a lot amount of work. So we figured out that we should deconflict those two types of releases. And something,
Hold
yeah,
on.
sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I need to step away for a second. Give me, just keep talking. I'll jump back.
Okay. So what we figured out is that the easiest way was that we keep the releases, the patch releases on Tuesday, and that we move all pre-releases to Wednesday. So that is how the release team also wants to do it this release cycle. I initially thought about doing it the other way around, but I think this is completely fine. Like we can leave Tuesday for patch releases and Wednesday are or other pre-releases. And in that case, like we don't have a conflict and we make sure that, yeah, we just keep it in consideration when planning releases.
The one thing that I would consider is for RC0, be careful to not have anything like even the next day, because there is a lot of extra work to do, I think. I mean, without I think, like I saw it last release with Jim. I'm documenting it, and I think it's easy that we go to the next day for that kind of work, especially if we start in the afternoon with the RC0. So yeah, the Wednesday that we have RC0, maybe like do not have anything on Thursday either, like something like that. So I agree with everything, just a small addition to this.
Yeah, that's a good point. In this case, we shouldn't have anything the same day as RC, as special issues should be done a day earlier, even if they're in the same week. Like the problem can become if we have to delay the patch releases for any reason. In that case, I guess we have to decide on case by case basis. Like in case we have priority patch releases, we will have to prioritize them and move RC. Otherwise, we keep we prioritize the RC and maybe move patch releases a week later. So this is the only in case it happens that we have to move patch releases from Tuesday to some other day. So I would say that we can maybe put it as a rule. So like if it is not priority and we have to postpone patch releases, there's RC the same week, then we postpone for the week after. If possible, of course. There are times when that's not going to be possible. In that case, we move RC.
Cool, makes sense.
Yeah, are there any questions about this topic? Okay, I will take that as a no.
Cool. If not, I just have two very small topics. One is a docs PR. It's been there for a while. If someone wants to take a look, that would be great. I'll use that to onboard that doc to onboard people for the cuts and for branch management in general a little bit. Thank you, Veronica. And the other one is a very small one. It's like 3 lines, but it's a bit of an improvement on the Python script for test infra after the 33.0RC0 cut. I figured with Jim that we should improve a little bit the messaging, the errors, and everything, because the YAML confs were a bit messy and we couldn't test them before, and we only found out on the day that we had a DRA YAML that was wrongfully named, I think, was the naming problem. That's all.
I also assigned myself to look at the documentation one that I started looking a while back.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will also take a look at the documentation one as well.
The more eyes, the better. There's even if Steven wants, like, more people look at that. It should be.
So I was reading that document last week, and just one comment, it's very well written.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. They call me the documentation guy in any company I'm in, usually, because I do love writing docs.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you a lot for writing this document. This is something that has been on our plate for a while, but we never really managed to get to it properly. And I think this is a really good step forward. Thank you a lot for doing it. Let's hope that we can get merged and that we can have nice documentation for release cuts. That's
There
going to
will
be
be
very
another one
appreciated.
coming for RC Zero. There is one that is even bigger because there's a lot of tasks, and it's gonna be a little destructuring the current handbook. There's also a discussion if we should have smaller chunks of handbook, like organized in folders or like different files, instead of having one chunky handbook. I mean, still having one chunky handbook, but maybe with links to the single doc in a way that's coherent and that's like makes it easier to navigate the docs. Not
Yeah,
only
this is maybe
people, but also like for me in 3 months, I won't remember how to do a certain thing. Like RC Zero tasks, I don't remember how to do them. So it's
Yeah, it's maybe an unpopular opinion. I don't know, maybe it isn't. But the handbook that we have right now should eventually end up in a trash can because it is way too bloated. It's way too, way too many content. It's really hard to read, and it is like has been created by every one of us just putting more and more content without proper structure. Thanks to everyone who maintained it for all these years, but ideally we should go like towards having proper handbooks, having like multiple documents with links and everything, as you said. Having just one thing in the place, yeah, it's not a good experience for anyone there.
I think it was written in times of war, so it's like it's still a very good starting point. It has all the info. You just have to like mix them up a little bit and maybe add something, go into another repo and take the test infra part or the promote part. But yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you went through history of that document, you would even find things like Anago and things that we got rid of many years ago. So yeah. Okay, and sorry, go ahead.
no, nothing. Just like I'm finished. So
Yeah, I will also make sure that we get a review to that Python script. The biggest issue with that one is, yeah, if you ask me, I would like to see that script again, and I would like that we, aside from promotion, make this one of the top priority, maybe even higher priority than image promotion, because this has been a lot of trouble every single release cycle. It's getting worse and worse, and pretty much nobody understands this script and how it works, how it looks like, and it's a mess, it fails, it doesn't work in many environments, a lot of people are struggling. We should really make top priority getting rid of it.
I think
So
that Jim fixed some of the environment issues last time with a PR. I'm pretty sure that we did that.
that's good. But yeah, but just general, like, yeah, we can try to improve it, but we should have in mind that we should try eventually to get rid of it. Not that I am discouraging any improvements, anything like that, don't get me wrong, please. But I just wanted to comment on that just FYI is that this is something that we know is not ideal and that we want to make that RC0 experience much, much better. And that one part of that is coming with proper tooling that's going to automate a lot of different things.
Think that after the docs are out for RC0 and that we do another RC0 for this time, maybe we'll have a clearer, or more folks will have a clearer view on what's that script going to look like in the next releases. So
Yeah.
I can click on to like open an issue after the next RC0 to say, hey, we want a new script that does different things.
We have that issue already, but
Okay.
we need to come up with some proposal. But let's
Okay.
see. We will
Didn't
figure
see it.
something out.
Mhm.
Okay. Are there any questions? I will take that as a no. Are there any other last minute agenda items maybe?
Just
And
wanted to
that
say
looks
that
like
I'm back and I am ready to work again. So feel free. I declared notification bankruptcy, so I won't sync on any of the old ones. But starting from today, I am available again.
welcome back. Yeah, I will be getting more and more available as well in the coming weeks. So yeah, I will be definitely happy to join in with some work as well. So yeah, let's see about making some long overdue improvements. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so Marco, I mean, as part of what I'm doing as a day job, I'm working on a lot of Sigstore improvements. So if we need to start working on the signatures again, it could be a good time. So if those conversations happen on Kids Infra, which I haven't been able to attend for a while, let me know and we can start replanning.
Sounds good. There was no discussions as far as I know because Ben has been mainly busy with internal work. So we didn't really get a chance to do something meaningful on that side. But yeah, let's figure something out.
Cool.
Okay. Steven, are you back by any chance?
And no, he had to go something work related. So
Yeah. Okay, then I guess I can close the meeting.
yep.
And yeah, thank you everyone for coming. This was great last minute agenda building together.
Yeah.
So yeah, have a very wonderful week and hope to see you next week. Bye bye.
Cool.
All
Bye,
right.
folks.
Um,
Thanks, everyone.